my dear parents, welcome to Life Faith Academy. My name is Piano Luca, and in this video we look at how technology can actually help us to reduce cost, especially costs that are related to stationery and other stuff like learning material, because we know as parents we are already under pressure in terms of the things that we have to spend for our children, especially things that are important, in their education. Just today, while I was doing my shopping at Val Mall, I overheard one of the parents complaining to say, I think one of their friends has just spent just around 7,000 buying stationery for the next academic year, which is 2024. And then I thought to myself, what are the ways? Maybe there are ways that we can utilize the power of technology and to sort of maybe if we can work together with the government and the people that are in charge, people that are making this type of decisions to say the technology is available. We've got things that maybe they can help us in terms of reducing some of these costs because most of our children they are already familiar with technology. We just have to teach them and show them some of the things that are important for to improve their learning abilities and their learning experience. All right, so in this video we look at that. The very first point that I have here is mainly around digital learning platforms. We do have digital learning platforms that are available that we can utilize. This is basically electronic versions of textbooks and writing materials. There are things that are available now, like your digital notepad, things that you can use. In fact, sometimes when I do my lecturing, I'll notice that our children no longer bring papers and pens. They use their cell phone to write notes. So these things are already available. It's not something new. And then again, in fact, these materials are already available. Some of them are already available, through computers, tablets. All they need basically is a computer, maybe a tablet or a smartphone. And most of them, they already have smartphones. So you just have to find ways to load. I know some of the schools are already doing that. So this is basically the right way. At least there's a progress we are getting there. And then another part, if you can collaborate with educational content creation, educational content providers, the people who are creating this educational content to say how they can make it available, online, and then making it easy for our children to access this type of information. And then again, digital resources such as ebooks, converting their books into ebooks, or maybe form of a PDF, and the interactive exercises. Right now, we are able to create things like assessment tests online, and then they can write tests online, they submit it online, and then the teacher receives them. You can set it up in a sense that it can even do the marking for them so that they know exactly, once after submission, they will get the results as to how the child has performed. Stuff like multimedia content, which involve text, images, audio, and video. So these are the things that we can use, to help our children to learn, and also reduce buying, especially the writing books, because these ones we keep on buying. Just now, I know my daughter has already made me aware that I have to buy an accounting book, both textbook and the writing one. So those, I think both of them, the two are actually going to cost around maybe 600-700. I'm not sure. She already told me that the textbook is quite expensive, and even the writing book is very, very expensive. So we know about our challenges finance-wise. We so we sometimes have these challenges of affordability, affording these type of things, but we do want to help our children for them to be successful and making it easy for them to learn. But I still believe utilizing the power of technology can actually help us to reduce some of these costs. All right, access to library of ebooks and digital learning material. Yes, we are able to get all the books maybe in the form of PDFs and to make this stuff available online. Okay, luckily for me, this is something that I do on a daily basis, helping other educational businesses to convert their material into online courses, because that's something that I do. Converting their material into PDFs, into ebooks. This is something that we can do. We just have to sort of get the people who's got this content, the right content that are supposed to be converted, and then we work together. I believe if we work together, we can be able to help our children and other parents in terms of this cost, because this thing is very painful. You having to pay school fees, learning material, other costs that, generally education, we know that is very expensive, and not every parent can afford this type of things. But if there's an area where we can be able to reduce the cost, then why not, right? Okay, and then partnership with the publishers and educational content creators. Finding ways that we can partner with the people who are publishing educational content, as well as educational content creators, the people who are creating the specific content that our children are supposed to be taught. And then we convert that material, make it available online, right? Okay, and then another thing that to look at is open educational resources. We create some kind of an openly free and freely licensed material that can be used for them to adapt, as well as for sharing purposes, because we are able to get this material for them to adapt to this type of changes, as well as sharing this information. But we can make it openly and freely licensed. This must be the material that is available for them to be able to use. And another thing, we create some kind of a centralized platform for this OER, which is open educational resources, making it easy for parents as well as learners to find and use relevant educational content. So if we centralize it, in other words, each and every school will find a way to access this material, because this is something that can be done, right? And then if you look at the next point here, mobile apps for learning. Most of our children, they already have smartphones, like I said previously. We simply have to load some of the apps that are available out there. If not, we can even get some developers, system developers, to create this type of things. So learning apps can actually reduce the need for physical writing materials. Apps that includes features such as the following: first, digital note-taking. Lately, you'll probably notice that there are some smartphones that come with this digital pen, where they can easily take notes. One pad. You don't need to have books like this. These notebooks such as this. You don't need a lot of these things. Maybe you can buy one or two just for take notes, but we don't need, like, usually when you get that list of stationery, sometimes sometimes it's very scary if you look at the things that we have to buy. Imagine if you've got more than one child, because some parents have got 3, 4, like myself, I've got 4 daughters. Imagine if I'm gonna pay maybe say 5,000 stationery per child. That makes you think. So, but if you've got smartphones, rather, instead of maybe buying all the stuff, maybe if you buy them laptops, smartphones, because laptop is actually an investment. Instead of buying, using that 7,000 to buy stationery, and then remember, then if the following way you're going to probably pay more than that, the wise idea to invest in buying them either a laptop with that money, so that and with that, if the government and the other people who are responsible with the education, if they can sort of adapt quickly, the sooner they adapt, the better for our children and us as parents, because now totally are reliant, and these things very, very expensive stuff here sometimes, especially if your affordability is not that good, But I know other parents can afford and they don't have a problem, but this is specifically for those who are battling with this cost, because like I said, we are not the same in terms of our affordability, right? And then the other part here, interactive quizzes, where these apps are also able to provide some quizzes, more like assessment and test, where a child can be able to assess themselves in terms of their knowledge, collaborative learning tools as well. We can combine all these things and then create a good learning material that consists of questions or quizzes, assessment, assignments, also study guides that are also available there. Like I said, I have a knowledge around creating online courses, so this thing is something that I've done this is something that I do, and I know this is how important it is, and I know how it can help the education system in general to solve some of these problems. All right. Okay, and then online assessment and homework submission. They will also, this when they implement online assessment tools, these assessment tools that I'm talking about, they are able to write tests, they are able to submit them, even their homework assignment and homework generally, they are able to submit it online, and then the teacher will receive them and they'll be able to mark and then assess, and then even communication wise, we've got things like Google Classroom, where a teacher can also set up a Google Classroom where they can interact with the children at any time, even after hours. So we do have these resources, so we just have to adapt, we just have to accept that we are moving, the world is moving towards the direction, and the sooner we start adapting, like I previously said on some of the videos, on the previous videos, to say that we are already about 10-15 years behind in terms of technology. But our children, unfortunately, they are already, if you look at a young one, as early as 5-6 years, these guys, they know this cell phone, they know a lot of things that we also don't even know that they exist. So the moment they've got that smartphone, they can do stuff that you don't even know that they exist. So their mind is very sharp. You just have to allow them, change the system to sort of adapt to these changes, and then they will be, I think their learning experience will improve rapidly and massively if we do that. Okay, and then the other point there, maybe getting the government to also subsidize or sort of provide financial assistance program specifically targeted at reducing the cost of educational materials for parents. If maybe we get the government to also help in terms of having some kind of a financial assistance, or some programs that can help parents in terms of reducing the cost, because I know the government has got some, they also want to help, but sometimes we have to sort of give us the chance or that platform to say, to raise our concerns about some of these things. Because sometimes you look at your child, they've got a school bag full of books, and that thing's heavy. It's heavy. I do have one of my boy that I'm coaching is actually Jimchana. He ended up having a back problem because of having to carry this big bag, which is very, very heavy. And then he's thin. The guy is very, very thin. So you can understand that if your child has to go through that, sometimes even health-wise, it's actually a risk, because they have to carry a lot of books, textbooks, lunchbox inside. There's too many things that they have to carry there. So, like now, my last born, she'll be doing grade 1 this coming year, and I'm already thinking she's tiny, she's thin, and that school bag, if it's heavy, it's too heavy for her. I'm already thinking that if maybe I could just buy a smartphone for her and other stuff, because she's grade 1, maybe as a grade 1, this is foundation phase. You expect them to be able to learn how to write, how to draw. So obviously they have to be the books there, but most of the time, the foundation phase, I know they keep their books in school, which is good. But for other ones from probably grade 8 or 7 all the way up, there's a lot of problems there because of the books that they have to buy and carry all the time. All right, and then again we have the power of AI in a form of personalized learning. So we have to sort of use the adaptive learning platforms which can provide targeted content. In other words, we can use the power of AI to create a targeted content which our children can use. Obviously, this will need people who are deciding on what content are supposed to be, what content or syllabus is supposed to be fed to our children. But they can use the power of AI to sort of create this type of specific content, which is actually going to reduce this wide array of physical material. Because now you may have a thick book like that, but find that they are only going to use maybe half of it, or maybe a quarter of it, or even maybe full syllabus. But if we can convert that full book into a PDF file, or some kind of a guideline, online guideline that they can access via internet or via online course, or or other platforms that we can create that are available. I think that will make life very, very easy for children, right? And then digital skills again for parents, which is my last point. Also, very, very important that we offer some kind of a training programs for our parents so that they enhance their digital literacy skills. This will actually help them to effectively support their children, because sometimes it's good that when children are doing these things, when they adapt, as parents we also adapt, so that when your child starts to show you stuff on a tablet or maybe on their smartphone, you are able to interact, you are able to show them, you are able to assist them. Sometimes maybe there's an issue with their laptop, maybe it's just a minor thing, but you are able to help as a parent. So maybe if we can look at these things, my dear parent, my supportive guardian, see if what is that we can do in terms of utilizing the power of technology to reduce costs such as stationary costs. I actually felt bad for that parent that paid about 7,000 of stationery, but I'm not really sure. I don't have the details. I'm thinking probably it was a new school. Not sure if that includes uniform and all that, because even the issue of uniform, sometimes you wonder why can't we just go for a simple gray and white or black and white uniform, and because these things are actually costly. Yeah, but anyway, this is just for you to think about it, my parents. I just wanted to put it on the table to say maybe you can top your views, you can top your thinking around this thing, your thoughts around this thing, and then what's your view, what's your opinion, share with other parents, and then let's see how we can help our children going forward. Perhaps this thing may not be solved the problem right now, but maybe the next year, 2 years, maybe 3 years from now, we'll be slowly moving towards adapting towards technology, and maybe next day we wouldn't be paying 7,000 of stationery or something similar to that, or even more. All right. Thanks a lot, my dear parents. I hope you got value from this video, and then please remember to share, subscribe, and like this video so that every time when I drop a video you can be notified. Alright, until I see you on another video, this is Piolon Luba signing off, and until I see you on another day. Cheers.